Well, are we recording?
We're recording. Yeah.
We're in business.
We need to get an intro. Because every video starts with me walking on and you asking if we're recording.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
getting
the
a bit
same.
strange now. Yeah.
It's the same question every week, isn't it?
Mm.
And people have said to us, friends of the show, have said to us, I was wondering
Ye-
where a little post-it went.
All right.
But
I
it's on
thought
the
you were
floor.
having a panic because you'd lost the cans.
No, we got the post-it. So we have a post-it that keeps us right.
Yeah.
You know,
Just keep us on the straight and narrow.
it does.
What song would you like for the intro? We
What
could change
song
the
would I
lyrics
like?
a bit.
Something we could change the lyrics to.
Well, yeah, because
Well-
in my head it's that Molly Percocet song.
Oh, that's a banger.
Molly Percocet.
Because
but
we
changed
had
it
that
to
on one
Breakfast
of our
Beers.
videos, though, didn't we?
Yeah, I can't remember. What it was.
Molly Percocet. Didn't we? We had that in one of our videos, no?
Yeah.
Oh no, the Miami Vice one was super cool.
Yeah, I can't use that.
Can we
though.
rip that off?
No, I get copyright strikes for that.
I don't know what we could use.
I got copyright strike on the last video because we used the Law and Order tune.
Oh,
and
yeah.
played in the background at
That
one
was
point.
really.
Yeah.
They caught us out for that.
They'll strike you for anything.
They catch you out, man.
Mm.
Big tech sees everything.
Big tech ruins everything, dude.
They do. The bastards.
Can you pass me a can? I've got tremendous thirst today.
You do.
Yeah.
I have just a thing for you, boy.
Ooh,
A nice juicy little can of Red Standard. What?
medicinal red.
Oh yeah, that's
There
the
we go.
stuff. That is the stuff.
It's lovely. It's great. It's an iconic shape.
Welcome, listeners and viewers, to another episode of Breakfast Beers. We're back, we're fat, and we're feeling good.
Feeling great. Yeah.
We're feeling fucking fantastic.
Mhm.
It's Saturday afternoon. The sun is shining. We're on the beer. The post-it just blew away again.
Suppose it blew away with all the ideas. The podcast is now derailed.
This podcast is
It's in danger
on
of
to
going
shite.
extremely sexist. Slightly.
Let's use a paperweight.
That's a pen.
There
we go.
There we go. We're in business. But yes, good feedback from last week's podcast. People liked last week.
People like
thought
last
it was-
week's. Yeah, we had some good things going last week.
We did.
Mm.
We were very full of beans, weren't we?
We had
You know?
things last week. Yeah.
You had your mad movie ideas.
Mm.
Mike Scripes there is liftoff with Mike Scripes.
You got a lot of gripes.
Man,
We should have been on that before. You're always griping.
I know. We didn't realize we were discussing before the podcast. Like, I used up some of my particularly
Strange,
anger-inducing sort of like murderous rage
Mm.
gripes early doors in the podcast
Yes.
without giving it the framework of Mike Scripes.
Yeah. Well, you were freewheeling, and sometimes that's the best.
Yes, but now we have a framework. And listen, Tom. This week we have a gripe from one of our listeners.
We got a guest gripe.
I asked for people to send me their gripes, and this
Ooh.
person has obliged. So when the segment begins,
Well-
it will be addressed.
Do you want to tell me now, or do
I mean, should we do Mike's gripes now?
we could do Mike's gripes straight out of the bat?
Let's do it.
Hmm.
So, jingle, please.
I can't. Well, I'm going to change it up a bit. Makasu Graipasu. There we go.
That was
Japanese
accent.
game show.
I
Yeah. So
get you.
I was thinking we'll do like a little Japanese style intro for it now.
Okay,
Makasu Graipasu.
me with the samurai sword, whoosh,
Maybe.
just like cutting the gripe in half.
I was thinking like the emojis popping up on the screen,
Yeah,
random Japanese characters, that kind of stuff.
fucking hell, we're cooking. We're cooking already, and we're not even 5 minutes into the podcast, are we?
I have
7
no
minutes?
idea. I can't remember if
We
I
don't
started
know.
it.
Listen,
Mhm.
Tom, we're going to start with the guest gripe.
Go on.
And then we'll
tell me
get
the
to my
guest
gripe.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guest gripe. We'll have to. Well, okay, the gripe is from a lovely person, a
Mhm.
lovely girl from Donegal. Her name is Catherine Carrigy.
Oh yeah.
She's a recent convert to the podcast.
Yeah.
She's Oisin's girlfriend.
Yeah. New Testament girl.
Oisin and Catherine have now become
Super fans.
super fans. I think it's
Excellent,
safe to say
excellent,
they
yeah.
are super fans. They've joined the cult.
Hmm.
They've signed up.
Excellent.
And
Part of
yeah,
the flock.
so she sent me a gripe.
Go on.
So now maybe I should read it. Should
Go
I
on.
read
Yeah.
it?
Read it out to me.
Well, I'll say one word, right?
Okay. Let me see if I
And
can get
see
it.
if you can guess it.
Go.
Okay, I'll say 2 words
Okay.
because you won't get it if I only say one. Planes landing.
Ah, people clapping when the plane lands.
Now, that is a gripe of mine, but
Yeah.
this is not the gripe. No. So the plane. So I'll paint the picture.
Mhm.
The plane has landed.
Mhm.
What do people do?
People stand up. Yeah.
Now,
Hey, dude.
but
Where you going?
so she goes further with this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So her issue is, let me see now, and the people will see I don't have my readers today. I forgot my glasses,
Okay. If
which
you want
is
me
a
to read anything,
fucking
let me know.
tactical mistake. I have to squint. But anyway, I'll have a look here. I have to bring the phone a little bit closer to my face. I have a gripe that I would like your opinion on.
Okay.
People on planes,
Mm-hmm.
when the plane has landed and it's time to disembark.
Yeah.
I like that word, disembark.
Yeah.
I don't
That's a
know
good
why.
one.
It's just satisfying to say.
It's like bungalow, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just a few too many
disembark.
vowels.
And people from the back push through and don't give the right of way to the passengers at the front.
Mm-hmm.
Big peeve of mine. Would love your thoughts. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, like airports in general are one of those situations that really stress me out.
Yeah.
I think I've told you privately about my airport routine, but it's no matter. There's only certain flights that I'll take home, and I always take the midday flight on EasyJet home from here because it's the only one I can handle anymore. I can't do Ryanair's. I can't do what's the Spanish one called that always leaves late?
Welling.
That one. Can't do it.
Too
I
many
can only.
people?
Too many people, too stressful, not enough leg room,
Yeah.
and they don't have the right times. I have to leave at midday because I have to be drunk to do it.
Yeah.
I have to have a beer before I get in the taxi to the airport. I have to have 2 beers in the airport. Then I have to go to the toilets and lock myself in the toilets until my gate gets called. The app on my phone tells me go to gate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I've got the EasyJet app, and I lock myself in a cubicle until that happens. And this happens with or without the girlfriend
I
being
was
there.
about to say, is Aya with you in
She
this
usually
moment?
just goes and waits by the gate, or she goes shopping or something.
So you have like a ritual?
Yeah,
for
I get
when you
cat.
play?
I've been doing this since before I knew her, and you know it's important when you're in a relationship that you don't change the other person too much. So I take my cans in a little
Okay.
bag. I lock myself in the toilets. I drink the cans. Go to the gate. Get on.
That's so weird, Tom.
Get on the
That's
plane.
so weird. People will be listening and watching this thinking he's lying. Trust me, he does this. Like this is the sort of shit you get up to.
Very stressful.
Yeah.
And then get on, and then when I'm on the plane, 2 more beers.
Mm.
Land at Gatwick. Do a maneuver I call the Gatwick Shuffle, which is how you can get out of Gatwick Airport in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
You go to the international passport queue. You turn right where they have the electronic things
Yes.
that read your passport automatically. You go into that area, and then you turn left, and there's a single man for if your passport doesn't work in those machines. You can go there, and he'll check it by hand. Just walk straight to him. Never has a queue.
Just go to the fella.
Yeah, so you cut down your passport immigration procedure down to about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Then you go straight to Marks and Spencer's, get 2 more beers, and get the train home.
And by that stage, you're well oiled.
Don't usually remember the train home.
Have you had a drink on the plane as well?
2, yeah, 2.
Beers?
Yeah, they do Punk IPA on EasyJet. That's another reason to take EasyJet. Nice and strong. But here's the thing, to address the gripe.
The gripe. Catherine's gripe.
Here's how you can resolve this issue. And you can resolve a lot of issues like this.
Yes.
There is nothing more terrifying than dealing in public with someone you don't know who has special needs. So the key is to fake some sort of special need.
Okay.
So
we're on shaky ground.
Okay, yeah, okay. We might have to bleep this bit out. You don't, yeah, you're not going to go around like making strange noises, but just pretend to be so stupid that you should have someone with you.
Okay.
So like, ask if there's someone there who you know you're going to have trouble with, and they're in the same row as you. Ask them which one is your seat and show them your ticket. And then when they tell you which one it is, say, how do you know? And make them explain that the numbers, the D, E, F up here, relates to that. And then ask them how you know which way round it is, and make them show you the picture of the window on the D, E, F. And then say, what about if we're facing that way?
Jesus.
Then ask them how they know what row number it is. Keep doing this.
Yeah.
Until they're talking to you the way they would talk to a child. At that point, you are the most important person in the room. And the room is a small aluminium tube with about 200 people in it.
That's exactly what it is.
Because they're all, number one, worried about you.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the person who should be looking after him? Who bought this ticket?
Yeah.
Did he buy it? Does he know where he's going?
All these questions are formulating in their head.
People start to ask, well, does he have the right to vote? At what stage do they take away his right to vote?
Yeah.
And should he be allowed on a plane without a supervision? Should we tell someone, but am I going to be the person in this room of 200 people to stand up and say, excuse me, I don't think this man should be traveling on his own?
Yeah.
Number two, he's huge.
He's
what if he gets angry in the middle of the sky?
I mean, you're thick, boy.
Yeah, but anyone can do this.
Yeah.
Anyone can do this.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can do this in any situation. The best situation to do it in is usually dealing with landlords or estate agents.
To pretend that you're
pretend that you're stupid and angry.
So yeah, you're like way below average IQ.
Yeah,
Sort of.
but a big boy,
Okay.
or not even a big boy, because
Powerful.
for a woman it can be sometimes physically intimidating. Women can be physically intimidating as well if they're stupid enough.
You better believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want to do a role play?
Okay. So where are we in this scenario?
Um,
Am I a state agent?
you
You
want
know
to
how I
be
feel about these people. But anyway.
you're someone who is standing up to get your bag out. You want to stand up to get your bag out, but I'm sitting in the aisle and I'm in the way.
Okay, so we've just landed.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, thank fuck I landed. Anyway, I'm gonna get the old bag here and get out of here.
Oh no, Michael, I'm in the aisle. You've just
Huh?
stepped out of the plane there. You've now stepped through the plane. Your bag's here.
Oh,
You need to
shit.
get past me.
Okay.
But as a sensible person, I don't want to stand up until the plane's come to a full stop and everyone in front of me is disembarked because I'm sitting down.
Okay, so is the plane still moving?
Yeah, but you want to stand up and get your bag out. Now,
I'm in a rush.
because you're
My businessman.
because you're an actual idiot, whereas I'm just going to pretend to be an idiot to neg you out. Because you can't, a minus and a minus make a plus.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do to you.
Yeah. Jackie, just landed here. I'm gonna try and get a taxi as fast as possible to the meeting. Okay. One moment. Here we are. Excuse me.
What are you doing? You need to sit down. You need to sit down. The plane's flying.
What do you mean? I'm in a rush here.
You'll misbalance the plane and the plane will crash.
Misbalance the plane?
Yes. It will fall out the sky if you do that. We need to sit down until the plane's landed.
You're the fucking misbalanced one around here, mate. You fucking idiot.
Listen.
I need to get my bag.
I have COVID. Sit down.
You got COVID?
Sit down. The plane is still flying, sir.
Where's your fucking mask, mate? Attendant.
Again,
This man has COVID.
Michael, you don't understand in this role play the boundaries of the plane. You keep leaning out of the window.
Are the windows here?
Yes, the windows are there. This is the last time we ever do a role play. You have no spatial awareness.
All right, okay, so the window's here.
Mm-hmm. And we've come to a stop. Everyone else is standing up and they're waiting to get out.
Okay.
Everyone else is standing up. You can't even stand up because the plane's like that. You're doing that thing where you're standing up like that. And I'm refusing to even stand up at this point because I'm so drunk that if I stand up, I'll piss myself.
I'm looking up and down the aisle going, fuck, when am I going to get out here?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, and then what do you say?
I say, excuse me, sir, you need to sit down while the plane's flying.
Whoa, the plane isn't flying.
How do you know?
We just landed.
How do you know?
Look out the window.
Can
you see?
Yeah, that could be anywhere. That could be any airport in the world. How do you know we're at the right one?
Are you fucking all right? Are you well?
I'm great.
You're great?
I'm absolutely great. Listen, I think you should sit down. If you keep...
I think you shouldn't be telling me what to do.
If you keep rocking the plane, it will spring a leak and will sink.
Sink?
Yes.
We're not on the ocean, mate. We're on the fucking tarmac in Heathrow Airport.
How do you know?
I don't know, but you... what's going on here? Is there somebody with you?
Someone's meeting me on the other side of the gate, yeah. But they're not paid to come on the plane and get me.
Well, like a helper or something?
Well, I don't know.
What's going on here? Listen, mate. Listen, I don't want any arguments or any fucking hassle. I just want to get my bag, all right?
Look, I think we should sit down until we come to a stop.
What are you talking about? Everybody else is standing up, queuing up to get out.
Well, how do you know they weren't there the whole time?
What the fuck's up with you?
Look, this is Cameron's Britain.
No,
man.
you're taking the piss out of me.
This is Cameron's Britain. I think you should sit down.
Cameron's Britain?
Yes.
Cameron's Britain will be getting one of them in a fucking second. Get out of my fucking way.
Okay, so maybe this doesn't work when I'm dealing with an Irish. Yeah. I usually land in Gatwick, which means everyone's going into the home counties or London. Not to a previous war zone.
I don't know. Yeah. But that was good though.
That's what you can do. You should always, when you're in an argument with someone, either pretend to be stupid or agree with them and double down on what they say.
The problem is, you sound like you're in that scenario. You sound like you were just trying to fuck with me. You weren't. You know what I mean? You were fucking with me. You weren't you weren't fully like. You weren't like looking for me to help you or anything like that. There, you know.
I mean, you always have to.
So I immediately go into fight zone.
You also have to remember when I'm traveling on an airplane, I'm dressing for comfort, which means I'm wearing my strange clothes.
Are you wearing your comfies?
Usually wearing my KFC tracksuit. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
I mean, you probably don't have to say anything if you're wearing a KFC tracksuit. People naturally get out of your way. It's a social icebreaker. Yeah, and I don't mean an icebreaker as in getting to know people. I mean an icebreaker as in those massive, beautiful ships that carve paths through the Arctic Circle.
Yeah. Okay, I see you. I see what you're saying. And how does this help Catherine's gripe?
I'm going to be honest, Michael. I've completely forgotten the original
forgot
question.
about Catherine's gripe. Well, anyway, listen. We'll go back to the gripe.
I think no, we can move on because I think we probably solved whatever the gripe was. Here.
She probably knows. She probably heard the answer, and we just didn't realize. She was like, "Oh, that's the answer to my gripe."
Exactly. Yeah. So, in answer to your question, you need to buy a KFC tracksuit.
Yes.
And fake a learning disability.
And that's that. Yes, that. Yeah. Okay.
Done.
Lovely.
What's your gripe?
So my gripe this week. So, Tom.
Everyone's texting me. Yeah, keep going. I'm listening.
There's a breed of people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm sure you've encountered these people. People that when you meet them or you spend time with them, they'll say something to you. They'll say this sentence. They'll say, "I don't care. I tell it like it is."
Yeah.
I tell it like it is. I call a spade a spade, which, to be fair, is a good thing up to a point.
Okay.
It's good to call a spade up to a point. When you're calling a spade to deliberately be nasty and hurtful to someone, you're a prick.
Yeah. Well, that's what Piers Morgan is, isn't it? Like his thing is like, I tell it like it is. That's why I'm popular. But then, don't invite people on your show. Like if someone says like, "Oh, I identify as a plastic lawn chair."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, and maybe they are in their heart a plastic lawn chair. More likely, in their heart, they have some other issues that they need to do a bit of speaking therapy about.
100%. They probably need about 6 to 8 months of speaking therapy.
There's a huge debate. Where do you draw the line? Like, because you can then say, well, it goes all the way down to people who say, "Oh, I'm slightly not normal."
Yes.
It shows my identity, and that's fine in some cases. We won't go into that because we're not qualified to talk about it.
We're all a bit cookie here. Yeah. Let's face it.
Exactly. No one's normal.
Yeah.
Everyone's just off normal.
Yeah.
So when Piers Morgan invites these people on his show with just the intent of baiting them into an argument and then having his editors edit them to make them look stupid, you are being a prick.
You are being a prick. Listen, to be more specific, it's the type of people who they've sort of built their whole character around they'll say things, just come out with things.
Mm-hmm.
No tact. Tactless people. And they are fully aware that they should have tact and they could have tact. I'm not talking about people who are unaware, who maybe they're just, do you know what I mean? I'm not being unkind to anybody who maybe they miss social cues or stuff. People who are fucking fully aware of what they're saying and what they're doing.
Well, no, I disagree, Michael. That is like a social disability, like not knowing that that's the wrong thing to do.
And I know, but knowing that it's wrong and doing it anyway. You know what I'm saying?
The irony of this conversation is that you and me and this podcast are probably quite deep in there. we're both.
But we don't personally insult people.
Yeah, well, I have to edit things out, don't I?
Sometimes, but like, come on.
And I know I'm more guilty than you.
You edit it out. You don't release it. You don't deliver it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's true.
There's a difference. You edit it. You edit things. You edit things. And these people aren't.
Yeah, go on.
These people aren't editing things.
Yes.
These people aren't editing things in their head. They're just fucking coming out with shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that is what I do.
You should know better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you do it, I think, on purpose is what you're getting at.
On purpose?
Yeah.
To make things awkward and to insult someone.
Yeah.
And I mean this, I don't mean this in the online sphere. Like, because people are fucking idiots online. Yeah. We all know this. Like, there's
online doesn't count as humans.
I mean, in a social situation.
Yeah.
So maybe you're sitting with 6 or 7 people. You're having a lovely conversation, a nice time. But that one person whose whole personality is built around, I just say it like it is.
Yeah.
Say something hurtful and nasty to someone.
I said it. Everyone else is thinking it. No one's thinking it.
No one's thinking it.
But yeah, well,
you know.
So like, just going back to Piers Morgan, because that's his whole shtick, and like one of our recent shorts, or maybe like one of our recent episodes, I edited the thumbnail to be you on Piers Morgan's body.
Yes.
And it was a poster I found of him, where it's his show, like Piers Tonight or whatever it's called, and it just said he's back 7 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's he gone? And can we put him back there? Like,
no, let's put him back.
And this brings it around. Like, for him, it makes him money, but for people who behave like that normally, they're gonna start wondering, when they get to their mid-20s, why they're really struggling to find a plan for things to do at the weekend.
Nobody wants to hang out with
yeah,
them.
no, nobody wants to hang out with you. It's called being a good friend because they say things. Well, I'm saying it. Everyone else is thinking it. It's like, no, I promise you, no one else is thinking it because they're not dwindling on it.
Exactly. Or if they are thinking it, they have the fucking tact and the know-how to not say things sometimes. By all means, you got to speak the truth every now and again. You got to say something that's important to say, but you don't need to go deliberately out of your way to be hurtful or embarrass somebody in public in front of other people.
Yeah, like if you started wearing prosthetic elf ears, because you got really into Lord of the Rings, like you binge watched it when you were ill. You had like COVID. It did a little bit of a hard edit on your mind, and you were just like, "Oh no, I just feel more comfortable in them now."
I mean, if the shoe fits,
like if you did that, I can imagine some people would just be like, "Michael, why are you wearing elf ears all the time? You're so weird." But that's not the right thing to do. Because you're saying like, "Hey, dude,
what are you doing?
I think you should probably take the elf ears off."
I know. Away, quietly away.
Yeah,
just listen, man.
That's how you do it.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't go, "Oh, Michael, I'm gonna say it because everyone else is thinking it. Your elf ears are weird."
This is it. Nah, I just it's been on my mind for a while, and it's like I'm sick of these people. I mean, fucking find something better to build your personality around, other than just being a fucking deliberately obtuse and nasty prick to someone.
But these people
and embarrassing them in front of other people, because I've seen it recently. This is something I've witnessed recently, where I've been in a social situation and somebody said something. It's like, well, where did that come from, for a start? And number two, you've wrecked the vibe. Everybody was having a good time. Everybody was having a laugh and having a joke, and you've suddenly said something that's obviously hurt someone's feelings. That person is then pretending that their feelings are not hurt, and it's all awkward and weird. And
was I there?
No, you weren't there. It was a different thing. And it's like, why? Why? Like,
well, straight away when you do that, like, well, there's no coincidence. It's not a coincidence that these kind of people are on the rise, and so are people like Andrew Tate and that. Like, I think it's just since the internet's come around, like you say, on the internet, people just say whatever they want because there's no consequences.
And it's seeping into
mainstream society because now the people who grew up in the real world, socialized in the real world, and never could fall back on the internet when the real world got too hard. They've not just come of age, but some of them are, into like real work life and stuff. So they're starting to pop up because they just lack the social skills.
That's what it is, man.
Exactly,
I think you're right. Yeah, that's the take. You're right.
And like, what happens when someone does that in a social situation is not only does it affect the person they've targeted, it affects everyone else, because now everyone else is like,
the vibe. Well, it wrecks the vibe.
Yeah, because maybe if you were wearing your elf ears and someone targeted you for your elf ears, like I think last week I said, like, it would be cool to have antlers. I would no longer want to discuss my plans to get prosthetic antlers.
This is it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about like mates sitting around a table slagging each other and having the crack and like saying, you this, like that's different. That's the context of that situation. I'm talking about it is whenever someone says something and you're in a context where it's just come from left field, and they'll say something like, well, I'm saying it, and everybody else is thinking, or whatever, some phrase like this, and you're like, no, you're saying it because you're a prick. That's why you're a prick. And you've deliberately been a prick.
You can rib people and bully them a little bit for things that they get upset
about. Laugh, man. We're slagging. We were always full of slagging. You know what I mean?
You earn that by being someone's friend. That's part of becoming like really good friends with someone. Is you earn the right to bully them a little bit.
That's a great point. That's
a
great point.
I will bully you for the fact that you're a little bit shorter than me.
Yeah.
And you will bully me for the fact that I'm not as tall as I want to be. Yeah. Like, one of us has body dysmorphia, the other one should have body dysmorphia. Like, that's the case that's going on here.
Yeah.
But that comes from years and years of trust that we built up with each other, and like having frank conversations with each other, making ourselves vulnerable to each other, so that if someone comes along, and I think this is what happens, they experience it on the internet, and then they see real best friends doing it in real life and go like, oh, I could do that in real life as well.
Yeah.
And then they just lay into people
you don't even
that
know
they
this person.
barely fucking know. Yeah.
Like you might have met them once or twice, and then all of a sudden they think they can rib on you, like they can rip on you. Fucking way off. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's only certain people that are allowed to say certain things to you.
Yeah.
You being, for example, using myself as an example, like you and our mates like Niall and my, family members, whatever, you're having a bit of crack, and obviously it's a joke. We're joking around and we're just like teasing each other. But when some other prick started insulting you, I'd be like, hey, ho, 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 ho. You don't be fucking saying that shit.
Yeah.
I say that shit. You fuck off. You know?
It's an assumption. You've made an assumption about your position in whatever social hierarchy you walked into. And make no mistake, you're at the bottom because we don't know you.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's this week's Mike's Gripes.
Was that someone's question? No, that was yours.
This is my one. Yeah. So the moral of the story is, listen, you choose your words carefully, all right? Don't be an arsehole on purpose just for the sake of being an arsehole, all right? And also, when you're on a plane, fucking don't be rushing if you're at the back of the plane. Be cool. Standing up too quick. You're going to get off the plane. We're all getting off the plane. We're all waiting to get off the plane. Be chill. Let's get off the plane together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one.
Yeah. Thank you. And that's the end of my scripts for this week. What's next, Tom? We've got what's on the agenda?
Movie ideas. Now,
I'm excited for this.
It proved quite popular, the old movie ideas section.
The movie ideas are genius, Tom.
But then, like, as I was saying last week, I tend to sort of daydream them. I daydream scenarios, and I think it's like a movie, and then I map that scenario onto the movie, and then it goes a bit weird.
Yeah.
And then, it's not something that works anything apart from organically. Now, last night, I did sit on the train home and write some movie ideas down. World War II movie ideas. However, I was very drunk when they happened.
You were out for beers last night.
Yeah.
With friends of ours.
Yeah.
Friends for the pod.
Yeah, well, I was going from meeting you, a beery business meeting, to Poblasek.
Yeah, I see, because I went home early last night because I was a tired little boy.
And on the train, I wrote down some cool movie ideas for World War II films, most of them based on films that already exist, but then I had to heavily edit them this morning.
Okay, because you were steamed?
Yeah, and like you remember...
Probably said bad words. A lot of bad words, were there?
Not bad concepts. I think we've had the problem before where there's a sort of overarching theme to a lot of my ideas that we can't talk about in public spaces.
Si, senor. Here, listen. I'm really excited about your movie ideas.
Yeah.
But I am busting for a piss.
You're pissed, aren't you, already?
So if I nip out for a piss, can we edit this out in post?
Yeah, sure.
And just be like, boom, ba-doom, boom.
We'll do the Friends thing.
Pass the cheese, please.
And we're back. We're back. Had to take a comfort break there.
Yeah, hang on. Let me finish this can and then start another one. We're burning through the cans here. We're going to have to go straight out.
I was thinking I should have maybe bought more than 6 cans.
No, I'll have a bottle of wine, but drinking white wine in the sun is a recipe for destruction.
Big time. We'll be steaming. Rat-arsed.
I just had another great
Bollocksed.
Just had another great movie idea. Featuring us. We can start with this one. So the theme this week is World War II movies.
Okay.
You know Dunkirk?
I do.
Dunkirk.
I never saw Dunkirk.
It's very good.
Okay.
There's like a musical theme throughout the whole thing. It's like building tension. The music's constantly going up, so you're getting like more and more tense. Okay. So it's like that, Dunkirk, but it's instead of Dunkirk, it's called Bogatell. After the beach here, Bogatell Beach.
Bogatell Beach.
And it's like, instead of young boys trying to get off the beach because of Germans coming, it's two young men, us, trying to get off Bogatell Beach because we got work tomorrow, but we're hammered.
It's a Sunday.
Yeah, it's every Sunday, every Sunday, the summer after COVID, when you and me just went for one on the beach and we drank so much that we could barely move, and you've lost your glasses and you're trying to find them in the sand, but you can't. I keep going down to the.
And I'm burnt.
We're both
crisp.
We're both peeling like lobsters. I keep peeing into the sea, but a child has now seen my penis, and there's Spanish people shouting at me. I'm trying to stumble back up. I've lost my phone. Where you're ringing it, and we can hear it ringing, but we don't know where it is. Is it in my bag or not? None of it. It's 4 PM. We haven't eaten anything all day. We were hungover this morning. We thought we'd just have hair of the dog, and now we've drank 6 cans each and 2 bottles of white wine.
Oh, that would be a great movie.
Yeah,
and it could be a short.
Yeah, but like the tension is just rising all the time. It's like a disaster movie. Everything's going wrong. We just need to get off the beach. You've lost a shoe. You're doing that thing you always do on the beach where you get changed and you wrap a towel around yourself and you hold it with one hand, then try and pull your swimming shorts down and put your normal shorts back on. But the towel isn't long enough to go. Isn't long enough to go all the way around you, so you can see just a line of your white bum.
We flash a ball bag. I don't want to be exposing myself on the beach. You know what I mean? There's families.
Nah, Spain, dude. You can do whatever you want
Come
on the beach.
You can't be at that. I'll carry on. But
yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say something there. People aren't making enough sort of like post big night out movies, I think, and like
What, The Hangover?
but they're going for the cure. Like session movies are, you don't get session movies anymore. You had Hangover, hit the 3 Hangover. Like the first one was good, the rest of them were a bit shit. Let's be honest.
There was a really good Dutch session movie came out a few years
Was
ago
there?
about a bunch of college professors who like they go on like a night out and they say like it's great after you've had like 1 or 2 beers, you reach this level where you feel fine.
Yeah.
But then after that, you get trashed and it's a bit shit. But like it'd be cool if you just maintain that feeling your entire life. And one of them says like, well, it must be possible like to mathematically calculate when and how much to drink at what time of day to constantly maintain a lovely buzz, and they do it.
Wow.
But the problem is once you get the lovely buzz, you want to drink more.
Well,
So there's the problem in the movie.
Feedback sort of loop. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Phrase I'm looking
Yeah,
for?
that's it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Another movie idea.
Oh, we're going quick fire World War II movies.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Hit me with them.
Starting off strong here with Schindler's List 2, Schindler's Pissed. It's the sequel. Basically, it's kind of like Terminator. A time traveler comes back to just before the whole of Schindler's List starts and tells him what happens and what he does in the future, but he needs to do it better.
Whoa. Jesus, you hit me with a barrage there.
Okay.
So we're talking Schindler's List.
Yeah, the beginning of Schindler's List.
Arnold comes back.
Like Schindler's walking back from a party. There's a lightning storm. Arnold steps out and is like,
is he naked?
Oh, yeah, completely naked. It's huge. Oscar Schindler, you will do great things in the future, but it is not enough. Takes his plans to replicate me. I am a robot. And then when he has the Jews and he's saving them in the factory, he goes, listen, guys, don't make pots and pans. Make these robots.
Make this guy.
Makes an army of Arnold Schwarzeneggers.
Oh, fuck.
Ends with Schindler becoming the machine god. And he's like sort of floating there with huge metal wings, wires coming out. And he has like his army of Jewish workers who are controlling the T-1000s. Yeah, and they just invade Berlin. And then the entire of Europe becomes under their spell.
So he initially, the idea is that he's going to be like a force for good. He's going to use this tech army, in order to annihilate the Nazis.
He attains absolute power,
but then he becomes what he's fighting against.
Yeah.
It's very allegorical, Tom.
Exactly, it's good.
I like that.
Next one, Glorious Bastards. It's a musical.
Okay, Glorious Bastards.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the same as in Glorious Bastards, except it's fabulous drag queens terrorizing the SS in a series of daring guerrilla-style raids and cabarets.
What? Whoa! I got lost there. So daring guerrilla-style raids. But we're in World War II here.
Yeah, it's just the same as the Inglourious Bastards movie, but
Super
it's a musical
camp version.
Super camp, like I broke a nail, like when they're killing SS
pretty
soldiers.
Camp movie anyway, but even more camp.
That's true. What have I got here? Hans Lander is outed, and he turns to be on their side, and then it ends with them just bullying Hitler.
Outed as a homosexual?
Well, I thought Hans Lander was homosexual in the films.
Was he? I don't know. Maybe he was. Like,
I have no idea. He seemed that way.
It's possible.
Maybe.
I mean, it is possible.
Well, anyway, they pull him out of the closet and he joins the Glorious Bastards, and then they bully Hitler for having really shitty derivative artwork.
Yeah, his artwork was pretty pish, they reckon.
Someone pointed out in Hitler's paintings how none of the people had eyes. He never drew eyes.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Man. That's a bit grim, isn't it?
I mean, if they say one thing about Hitler, he was a bit weird.
Grim.
He was a bit grim, a bit weird.
He was a grim fella, like.
Yeah.
By all accounts. Go ahead. Next.
This is
great.
You'll like this one. You'll like this one.
Will I?
Yeah.
Go on.
Bridge over the River Kauai.
River what?
River Kauai.
Kauai?
It's Japanese for cute.
Like
anime.
K-A-W. Kauai.
Kauai.
Is that how you say it?
I think so. It's an A24 style film. You know, the people who did Hereditary, and
yes,
it's a real horror movie. English POWs forced to dress as geishas and pleasure Japanese businessmen and soldiers. Complete Oscar bait. One review called it a piercing view of the self-destructive nature at the root of toxic masculinity and male hierarchies. I wrote that review for myself.
So fucking weird, Tom. That's so weird.
know. I was quite drunk when I wrote these. You can sort of just imagine like the British officer telling his men like, keep calm and carry on, men, but he's got like a white face and like makeup and he's wearing a little dress and they've bound all the soldiers' feet so they're really small. They're like shuffling along. Like keep calm, stiff British upper lip, men, as like Japanese businessmen lead them away like, oh, come with me. Look at that. It's very dark. Very
dark,
very visceral,
very
psychological horror.
I love how you described it as Oscar bait.
Oh yeah, that because that's
Oscar bait.
Because that's
Sure.
that's the zeitgeist of the times. Like this tough, like the most sort of tough masculine thing you can imagine is a soldier at war, and then he just gets completely emasculated by being forced to dress as a cute Japanese schoolgirl and go like that.
My God, Tom.
Yeah,
wow.
Do you like that one? Powerful,
I mean, Jesus, I'm bamboozled.
I wrote this one down. I don't know about this one. Indiana Jones and the Eternal Crusade, because that was set during World War II, I think. Nazis.
Oh yeah. He was punching them and all.
Yeah.
He was a great man for the left, right hand. Boom, boom, boom.
Bow, bow.
You know?
Anyway, it's got nothing to do with World War II. Indiana Jones and the Eternal Crusade is all about Indiana Jones trying to move his father, Sean Connery, into an old folks' home so he can sell the house. He just keeps yelling, "It belongs in a museum," and pointing at Sean Connery. And that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tom. Another great addition of Tom's movie ideas, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's an eclectic mix.
There's some powerful ones in there.
Some powerful stuff.
What I tried to do with that list, I think, is cover a lot of themes. I had to remove a huge amount of movies, which were funny when I wrote them.
Yes.
Not funny on rereading.
Well, Tom, listen. More power to you. That's what I say. More power to you.
Could you pass me another can
it's brilliant. Yes, I can indeed. Oh, I can pass you a can. Is that something? Is that like a?
No, you've had 2 beers and it sounded good when it came out. That's what happened there, dude.
Right, never mind. I get the old can. Right, so
thank you.
We've got another thing on the list here that I'm going to hit you with, Tom.
It's these Belfast-isms.
Belfast-isms. So last week's pod, if you'll remember, I had some Irish phrases and sayings from our good friend of the show, good friend of mine, good friend of ours, John Muldowney, right? Mm-hmm. Now, John's knowledge of this of sort of Irish words and phrase, Irish turns of phrase, we'll say, is more in the northwest, right?
Yes,
the northwest of Ireland. Mm-hmm. But now we're going to the northeast, where I was born, the city where I was born, right?
Belfast.
And there's a reason why my accent's all over the place a little bit, because I was born in Belfast, lived there until I was 9. All my family are from Belfast. We're Belfast people, but we moved to Donegal, so my accent kind of a mix of the two. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's kind of half and half. Whatever, these things happen when you're a young fella and you move, right? But anyway, I thought this week I would hit you with some Belfast-isms.
Go for it.
All right. I don't have my glasses. Once again, I have to bring the phone quite close to my face,
okay, so
I can read what's here. And I asked my brothers to furnish me with some of their personal favorites, and an avalanche ensued.
Okay, you hit me
3
with them.
3 boys hit me with a pile of sayings.
You hit me with them, and I'll tell you what I think they might mean.
Right. So, how long do we see here? Now, there's a load that are quite. There's a lot that are very intuitive, like you'll know what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if I said to you, "I'll knock your bollocks in," what would you think I was?
Probably going to hurt me.
Yeah, I'm going to hurt you bad. Right? What if I said to you, Tom, your head's a marley?
A marley?
Your head's a marley.
Is a marley a type of fish?
I mean, a marley in this context, I don't know what the fuck it means, but I've heard it many, many times. You say your head's a marley.
You're a bit crazy.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Well done, Tom.
Yeah, I think a marley might be a fish. I'm going to go with that.
Yeah. I'm rubbing off on you.
I am part Irish.
Now, I'll give you another one. If I described somebody as a melter.
Melter. Is that someone who's just not good crack?
Almost. You're almost there.
Or someone who goes home early?
No. I can see what you're thinking there.
Yeah.
No. A melter is an annoying person.
Okay.
He's a fucking.
Where does that come from? Yeah.
Yeah, he like melts your brain. He's a fucking
arsehole. Yeah, that makes sense.
He's a melter.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Right, now I've got lots more. How long do we see now? If I said to you, I'm foundered, what would you think?
You're foundered.
I'm foundered.
Foundered. Tired? Exhausted?
No.
Drunk?
No.
Hungover?
No. Very cold. I'm foundered.
Oh.
Freezing cold. Yeah. It's a weird one, isn't
Oh,
it?
that's what I thought you were doing, like hot, cold. It means you're cold.
It means you're very cold.
I'm foundered.
Foundered. I'm fucking foundered.
What is that one?
And I don't even think that's exclusive to Belfast. I think that might be kind of north of Ireland in general. Do you know?
Foundered.
Foundered. If I said to you, he's gone to Ballyhackamore for butter, what would you think?
I think my best friend's having a stroke. I got a test if he could raise his arms above his head and call an ambulance.
Can you say back what I said to you?
I got a better guy's good about butter.
He's gone to Ballyhackamore for butter.
He's gone to Ballyhackamore for butter.
Yeah.
He's crazy. Like he's
Like-
just not in the same room as us. He's
Not in the same room as us.
yeah.
You're right there. So
Oh, so he's just not here.
we don't know where he is. Fuck knows where he is.
Okay.
So it's like you'd say that if your mate, you say your mate's gone somewhere, and you're like you don't know where he is. Say we're out. Me and you and Niall are out on a night out.
Yeah.
Niall disappears. We don't
Yeah.
know where the fuck he is. Maybe he's off with some nice lady. Who knows, right?
Oh boy.
Don't say that.
Am I gonna have to cut that out?
We'll get mad at you.
Yeah.
Right. And you go
Sorry.
to me. Where's Niall? I say,
Yeah.
fuck, sure, he's away at Ballyhackamore for butter.
Remind me when you finished telling me all these phrases to give you my thesis on the Irish language and how it's affected the Irish in general.
Okay.
Because I've got
But-
a lot to say about this.
Before I go on,
Yeah, no,
that
keep
one,
going.
he's away to Ballyhackamore for butter. I think that might be just exclusively my granny who said this. Right?
Okay.
Now, my brother told me this, and I wasn't looking. I didn't meet my granny, right? She died before I was born.
Mhm.
But the boys all obviously
Knew her well, yeah.
right? And she used to say that about somebody you don't know where he is. He's away to Ballyhackamore for butter. Ballyhackamore is a part of Belfast.
My
It's an area
granddad
in
was saying like
Belfast.
that was exclusive to her. She said like when she was getting towards the end of her life, she said like, "Oh, I'm ready to go around Tattenham Corner.
Yes.
I'm going around Tattenham Corner soon." And Tattenham Corner was the corner at the end of the small road that she lived on, and it was her way of saying, "I'm getting ready to die."
Oh fuck. Well, there you go.
Which is grim and sad.
That is a wee bit.
Yeah. Sorry, keep going with you saying.
So if I said to you, you wouldn't know where to hit him to save him, what would you think I'm talking about?
You wouldn't know where to
I wouldn't
hit
know-
him to save
I
him.
wouldn't know where to hit him to save him.
He's small. He's slight.
Almost. You're almost there. Kind of. But
You've not
really.
got much muscles on him.
It's somebody who you think you'd batter. You wouldn't know where to hit him to save him. Do you know?
Oh right, okay.
Because if you hit him, you might kill him. So you wouldn't know where to hit him.
Oh right,
in
so you'd be
order
able
so
to
that
beat
he
him
would
up
be alive.
easily. Okay, okay.
Do you know?
So you could kill him. Yeah.
So that's a real
A tough
hard
guy
man
thing to
one.
say. Yeah.
You know, tough guy thing to say.
Okay.
What do you think a smick is?
A
This
smick.
is a type of person. A smick.
A smick.
If I called someone a smick,
Is it like schmuck, like a bit of a sucker?
it's not Tom. It's the Belfast version
Mhm.
of like a chav. A smick.
Ah, a schmick.
A smick.
Smick.
So somebody who's a smick is like, you know, wearing all the tracksuit bottoms,
Yeah.
walking like this here, drinking at the corners, shouting at grannies, you know, that kind of stuff.
Oh, right, okay.
Joyriding. You know what joyriding
Yeah,
is?
yeah, yeah.
Stealing cars. Joyriding.
And you get a
Smick.
lot of them in Belfast?
Oh, fuck yeah. You do, surely, yeah. There's lots of smicks. Hello. Hi.
Oh, hey, how you got
How's it
you
going?
got your new tattoo?
Very
You
good.
feeling a bit better? You still hungover? you
You might be a tiny bit hungover now.
were
Come on.
very hungover this morning. Yeah, sure.
Tom's going to get kissed by a girl. Ooh, gross.
You hungry?
I don't. Listen. I mean, I'd eat, but I don't want to be putting any
Are you
pressure
eating?
on. You're going to cook?
Are you hungry?
All right, I'll take a small bit.
Spaghetti, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll eat spaghetti.
Cool beans. I'll take it. Thank you very much.
Meal.
Cheers. Getting our lunch.
Wow. Okay, show me the
Alright.
tattoo.
We'll have a look at the tattoo here.
God, his sun is baking me. It's lovely. Oh, it is
It
good.
is cool.
It is
Oh
good.
yeah, I like that.
A lot was really bad.
There's a lot of blood around you here. You were bleeding.
Yeah, I know. But it's because.
You were drinking all last night. That's why.
But there we go.
There we go.
Right, we were on the
Smick.
Smick.
Hmm,
So like
okay.
the equivalent here in Spain would be like like the wee lads you see walking about and
They
they're
call them
playing reggaeton on the train or
they call
whatever.
them cannies here.
They call them. That's right. Andrea was telling me last night.
Canny. Yeah. I want to be a canny.
Cannies.
I think
You don't.
well, I think you have to have very skinny legs to be a
Yeah.
canny. You must never ever do anything for your legs.
This is it. Now I might have one more for you now. Jesus Christ, my fucking. They sent me so many. To be fair, the boys really rode in behind us. If I called you a cow walloper,
Cow walloper.
yeah. Again, I think this might be specific to my granny.
It's just your granny saying. Cow walloper.
Cow walloper.
Someone who goes after fat women.
No, but it should be.
Yeah.
A cow walloper. So she used to call my granda a cow walloper, apparently. But my granda worked in the slaughterhouse, right?
Oh, so just someone who kills cows.
I think literally.
Fuck's sake.
But I think like nobody's quite sure if that's what she was getting at. She just used to call him, "Hey, he's a cow walloper."
Yeah.
You know, where is that cow walloper? That kind of stuff. You can see, like,
How did your granny think slaughterhouses worked? Just beat the shit out of the
Hit them
animals
over the
until they're
head?
dead. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but like I never met this woman, but I've heard lots of stories about her.
Okay.
And the more I hear about her, the more I think, that kind of I think some of that genetics has seeped into me a bit, where I'm like,
yes.
they sort of madcap things that she said and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like the apple and the tree sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like.
That's
Anyway.
insane stuff.
What's next? I'll give you one more, Tom.
Go on then.
I mean, some of these I can't say. Let's see. If I said to you, give you, I'm floundering here. I'm floundering. If I said to you, you couldn't kick snow off a rope, what would you think? Couldn't kick snow off a rope, or you couldn't. So there's two for this. So you couldn't kick snow off a rope.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that would mean?
Very weak legs.
Almost.
Very weak in general.
It's a sport thing.
Oh, terrible at football. Is that it?
Bingo. That's a good one. And my dad would say that a lot. And he would also say he couldn't kick his own arse. Somebody who can't play football couldn't kick his own arse.
Jesus Christ.
What was the other one? Couldn't knock snow off a rope.
Is it the same thing?
No.
Couldn't bad at boxing?
Can't box. Couldn't you know what I mean?
It's obsession with snow and ropes
Belfast
here.
Belfast is a wee bit obsessed with
Snow and ropes.
With snow and ropes, but also is obsessed with boxing.
Yeah.
And obsessed with football.
Yeah, it's got a good history with boxing.
Boxing and football. Good history in boxing.
Yeah.
Boxing. So there you go. That's some Belfastisms for you, Tom. Do you feel enlightened?
I do feel enlightened. I also feel like now's the correct time to give my thesis on the Irish people.
Irish people in general. So you be careful.
Yeah, I know. I have to be careful. As an Englishman, we're very tempted to put other people's in boxes and comment on them. And
yes,
the Irish are one. Like, if you ask anyone who's met an Irishman, it's number one. They're probably up there with the greatest peoples on the planet. Oof. In terms of people to hang around with, people to be around.
You to say that, right.
And you end up asking yourself, how the fuck have these people not conquered the world yet?
Well,
and you'll think that as well, because I used to live in New Zealand when I was younger, and you get the Maoris, the Tongans, the Islanders.
Oh, they're big, strong people, aren't they?
Human tanks.
Yeah.
And you think, like, how have these people not conquered the world yet? And then what you do is you see them when they've had a few beers. And you realise that's the problem with them. And all it'll take for the complete annihilation of all sports in the world is for the Maoris and Tongans to put down the beers and pick up the ball. And that's it.
Well, you see the New Zealand rugby team.
Exactly. Yeah. The All Black, they're fucking
elite.
Insane.
Yeah.
And it's like that with the Irish, but from a social point of view. Like, they're so social.
Yeah.
What's going wrong there? And then you hear them speak.
Oh,
you particularly do this. You take 30 words to say something that could be said in 2.
Yeah.
Couldn't kick snow off a rope. Bad at football.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is.
Yeah. Couldn't kick his own arse.
Yeah, so this is what I think about the Irish. Like, if they stopped wasting time saying so much shit and just got to the point they want to get to in conversations.
Yeah.
They conquer the world.
I heard a theory about this, about the fact you're saying that the Irish people tend to talk in riddles and like unnecessarily sort of convoluted sentences and
Yeah.
sentences that go round in circles and stuff.
I wonder if we're going to go the same way with this theory, because I've got a little bit of a theory there.
Here's the theory. So I heard this theory on another podcast, the
Mhm.
Blind Boy podcast.
Mhm.
Fellow Irish guy does a podcast. It's quite a good podcast. I listen to it sometimes. And he was saying that he thinks that part of the reason is obviously the way that the English language developed in Ireland was
Mhm.
heavily influenced by the Irish language itself.
Yep.
The structure of it and
100%,
stuff.
yeah.
So Irish people talk in a certain way, speak English in a certain way
Mhm.
that's informed by the linguistic history of the Irish language,
Yeah.
right? So it's different. And there's it's even got a name. It's Hiberno English.
Yeah.
Right. But also, his theory was that Irish people, particularly people in sort of down in Cork and in sort of Southern Ireland, a thing developed where you would talk in a sort of you would say things that are kind of difficult to interpret.
Mhm.
For example, couldn't kick snow off a rope, and these little turns of phrases. Now it's English, but it's not really English, if you know what I mean,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's
Irish thinking applied to English language.
Yes, and it's
Mhm.
dancing around the point in order so that, for example, the English landlord or the English boss or
Oh,
the
okay,
foreman
yeah.
or the English soldiers
Yeah.
couldn't understand
So
what
it's
you were saying.
a form of code switching. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
That was his. Now, this is his take.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But it was convincing enough, and I can't really remember if he, if he had I'm sure he had some sources for it and stuff
Yeah.
like this. But that was his theory. That's one of the reasons why we talk the way we talk is because of that.
I don't know if it's the same in Irish. Well, for example, in English, like place names
Yeah.
are named after the person who founded them, because it all stems back from Roman languages, Romance languages, and like in all the Romance languages, it's sort of named after very obvious things of the people who founded them. So you
Not
get
like
very
that in
simple names. But then if you look at Gaelic languages,
Yeah.
they all tend to be descriptive of where that place is.
It's the landscape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the famous one is that Welsh train station, which is like 30 syllables long or whatever it is. I can't remember what it is. It ends in go go go.
Yeah.
And it translates to literally something like the river near the big oak tree, but not the big oak tree that's on that side. It's the one that comes down from the river near the cave.
Yeah,
That's what it
exactly.
translates to. And is it the same in Ireland?
It
Like,
is.
yeah. So I
is.
think this is what it is.
It's
so,
maybe not as convoluted as that, but it's very much.
yeah, that's
place
the
names
extreme example. Yeah.
It's like all it's the landscape. It's
Yeah,
what it
around it,
is.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like even like for example, Belfast it comes from the Gaelic Belfirsta, which is like mouth of the sand.
Mouth of the river.
Yeah, almost.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's like, do you know what I mean? Mouth of the end. Yeah. So
yeah, so
it's
that
very
so there's this thing called the Sapir Whorf hypothesis, which is the language you learn is the language you think in, and it affects the way you think.
Okay.
So, like everyone goes on about how good Russian literature is, and then according to the Sapir Whorf hypothesis, because Russian literature has so much descriptive language in it.
Yes.
So
many adjectives in the Russian language.
Yeah, and like they have like hundreds more colors than we do in the English language. Like in English, we have like blue, but we have like heron blue, baby blue, sky blue. They'd have different words for each one.
Okay.
Whereas compare it to like ancient Greek, where they had 4 colors.
Yeah.
Which weren't even based on the actual, what we know as color. It's based on the hue, like the shade. So they had like bronze, wine. I can't remember the others. Anyway. So that's why they think Russian is so descriptive. And then you look at Germans. Germany's always called the language of business.
Words to describe things that we don't have words for.
Yeah.
But you know what it is. You understand it. You're like, okay, you know what I mean?
So Germany's always described as the language of business because it's super straight and to the point.
Yeah.
And English is the international go-between language because it's super simple to handle.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why.
Maybe.
The Irish speak the way they do. It's because they've got a super descriptive language.
Yes.
Which means they dance around the point.
They do.
Instead of actually jumping on it.
Yeah, we do. Like, there's no doubt about it. And we use a lot of sort of like innuendo and like.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? Ellipses and little things, little like suggestions, and we are like whenever if you see like me, Niall and Braze talking like, and we're in full flow. we could be having a conversation and people would be like, "What are they talking about?" You know what I mean? But we know exactly what we're talking about.
It is like
in a way, it's funny. Like
when you three are talking, it's sometimes like watching three men in planes with the windows open, flying around each other in loops, screaming at each other out the window as they fly past.
Yeah,
like,
and there's a lot of like wink and nod sort of thing.
Yeah,
It's
and
very wink and nod way of
each one of you is having a conversation just with yourself as well, like at the same time.
But yeah, no, that's cool, man. That's we went down a good linguistic rabbit hole there.
Yeah.
But we definitely, like as I say, Hiberno English is the thing. It's not, we don't talk the same. We don't speak the same. There's no two ways about it. Like, but at the same time, I think Irish, the way that we sort of speak, the way we write, has enriched the English language. There's no two ways about that.
A lot of
like
I
the
think
Irish
a lot
writers,
of war poetry and war writing is
and
from the Irish
James
for a reason.
Joyce, man, James Joyce is a genius. Like, his writing, an absolute genius of the written word, and he wrote in English.
Yeah,
you know, but he wrote in Hiberno English.
Yeah,
like his the way that the characters speak, you know, they're speaking with like a Dublin accent, or you know, some of the phrases of Dublin. But yeah, that's cool, man. How did we get onto that?
I can't even remember.
I can't even remember how we got onto that.
Yeah,
can you?
No.
Fuck.
Right, we were doing your Belfastisms.
That's the Belfastisms. That's what it was. But so next week we'll go back to John, because
I want to hear more of John's stuff.
Yeah, because John's he sent me a whole bunch.
Excellent.
So, but yeah, I think it's a cool one. It's a cool little feature. You know, I love learning new words and phrases, man. It's fucking, I get really.
Well, that was a cool
really
cultural experience for me.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so next. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Sean.
Speaking of speaking of new words and phrases, prepare to have your mind ripped open by Sean's contribution for the week.
I'm excited to hear Sean. I listened to it last week, but I can't remember it.
I can't remember. I don't think I've listened to it.
So I'm excited because it's always good value.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn the volume up here.
Very left field thinker.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a creative.
That's why he's an artiste.
Okay, take her away, Sean.
It's Sean.
Hello, hot boys. My contribution is twofold. One is just kind of a thought I had, where I was in a bookshop today, like an amazing bookshop with thousands of books. And I thought, isn't it frustrating how one of the books in the bookshop is undeniably the book that I would enjoy the most today? Like, just based on whatever factors, one of them is the one that would be like the best book for me. And there's no way that I can know what that book is.
Yeah,
you can only ever go into a bookshop and guess, which is frustrating. But that's just an abstract thought. My question is, what book that you've ever read in your life would you recommend the most, that you think was just the best book?
Wow. Do you know what's mad about his question?
What?
We might have the same answer. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. We'll have similar answers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know what one you're going to say as well.
As we take to answer his first point, being in the bookshop, I've had this experience myself recently.
Yeah.
Where I've been in the bookshop and I've been leafing through and thinking, what am I going to buy? I really want to buy a book. I want to read. And I bought another Cormac McCarthy novel.
Which one did you get?
Sutri.
Oh, isn't it quite new?
I'm not sure. I think it might be like early 90s or something like that. There.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure, but it's probably. So I started reading it and I was like, fucking hell. I was like, what's going on here? And I read a little bit more about it then after. It's his most indecipherable book. It's his most difficult book.
Yeah, he's not good, is he? He's not good with the paragraphs and the full stops and the commas.
I think he's good, right?
No, I mean with punctuation.
Yeah, but I found it very difficult. I was like to penetrate. It was I have to give it another chance. I read the like first couple of chapters and I was like, right, this is fucking bamboozling my brain a wee bit.
Yeah.
Here. And I've read his books, like I read The Road and the Blood Meridian, and they were brilliant.
Yeah,
like, I love those books. But this one I'm finding difficult, and I've been reading about it then online and stuff.
Yeah.
People are saying it is impenetrable, but I bought that book that day thinking this is the book for me.
Mm-hmm.
To go back to his point, thinking surely this is the one that I'm good because I enjoy his books and stuff. And it wasn't the book for me at that
Nah,
moment. Maybe it
didn't
will be
sit
at some
well.
point the book for me, but it wasn't. It
Yeah.
wasn't at that time.
I mean, so I want to go back to the first point you made because there's something really cool to talk about there. You're talking about is that somewhere in the bookshop there is the book for you.
Yes.
So I like to do a bit of coding. I'm a bit of a coder in my spare time. That's what I do.
Yes, of course.
And there's a really cool little game that someone coded where they made a video game with a room, and it's like an octagon.
Okay.
The room is an octagon, so there's
Mhm.
4 corridors leading into the room, and if you walk through any of the 4 corridors, you'll end up in the same room. Like it's like just an infinite map of octagonal rooms going across like a grid.
Yeah.
So there's 4 corridors leading out, and then 4 walls, and on those walls are shelves.
Yeah.
And on those shelves are each 100 books, and you can in the game like pick a book out.
Yeah.
And he's made it so it randomly generates in each book a book of 100 pages with like 100 characters a page. Each character is random.
Okay.
But the book only ever exists once. So each time it's shuffling again and again, making a random connection of characters.
Right.
So you have all the letters, all the spaces, commas, question marks, full stops. So within that library, it's called the Library of Babel, and you can walk around this library. Most of the books are gibberish.
Okay.
But occasionally you will find a book with a complete word in it or sentence sometimes. And in theory, within that library is like, the complete works of Shakespeare or The
Okay.
Tempest.
Yes.
Like perfectly written out because it's
Yeah.
all randomly generated and it goes on forever. And people on the internet will go and say like, oh, if you go to, because you can on the library say like, you have like a mapping system of where you are.
Yeah.
You say if you go to this cell, you've got like Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park. The first 4 pages are exactly perfect. Then it goes to gibberish.
Yeah.
And like in that library, somewhere in theory, is an exact biography for your life, your entire life into the
Whoa.
future. But also in that library is a book that tells you how to find the biography of your life in that library.
Okay.
And
Jesus,
in that,
Tom.
and in that library is the book you most want to read right now.
Yes.
But it's all randomly generated, and it's called the Library of Babel. And if you're bored, I recommend you download it and check it out. I think it's free.
Wow. There
Yeah.
you go.
It's a cool little
Sean,
coding project.
Hope this helps. This might help a lot of people making decisions the next time they're in the bookshop.
No, we're both going to say our book recommendation at the same time because I know what one you're going to say. I'm pretty sure.
Well, do you know what? I think both of us are thinking of Blood Meridian,
Yeah.
which is an amazing book, and
yeah.
you recommended it to me, and I loved it. I thought the images, it was epic. It was dark,
It's visceral.
very visceral. I mean, it's probably the darkest book I've ever read, but it was also beautiful
I mean, it's not the book I'd recommend.
as a starter.
Yeah,
for-
it depends on the person, doesn't it?
I mean, as a starter
yeah.
for like Cormac McCarthy. I don't know.
Well,
would you?
Like I
Maybe.
knew it was the book you would want to read when I
Yeah.
recommended you. That and The Terror were like perfect.
Yeah.
But I think Stoner. I've told
Stoner?
you Stoner. I think I've told you about it before, and
I think you have. Yeah.
it's
Remind
just
me.
a fictional biography of like a young farmer's son who grows up in Iowa or
Okay.
something, and his dad saves a bit of money and says, "Look, I'm going to send you to a university to study farming
Yeah.
because we're shit at this land. We barely make anything. We're scratching around in dirt.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way to make this land work for us. I want you to go study it." And he goes to university, studies farming, and after a while, one of his professors like, "You're really good. Like, you know that there's a career called academia. Like, you can just stay here and study this. You don't have to go back."
Professor.
Yeah, so he becomes a tenured professor, and it's, like he alienates his dad a bit, and then it fucks his relationship with his dad, and then he has relationships with a woman who he thinks is gorgeous, but she doesn't really love him, but she's marrying a college professor, so there's like,
it's like
so it's like, it's a good thing for her, but she's not into him, and then he has a daughter, but because the mum doesn't love him, she tries to make the daughter hate him. And it's all about just sort of missed opportunities in life and not taking the right step at the right time and just not fucking up.
Yeah.
But like not going for it.
I
and
hear
it
you.
really, really fucking hurts to read.
So you just reminded me of another book that I love that I would recommend. Dubliners by James Joyce. So James Joyce is already mentioned. Dubliners is a collection of short stories,
Yeah.
and it's like that. The collection of those sort of bittersweet moments in life, or those missed opportunities, or those like it has like kind of melancholic moments, but it also has like moments of just pure beautiful prose, like
Yeah.
that can just you just it was probably the time I read it, I was like 21, 22. I was in university, like, and I was reading it on the bus up and down from Belfast
Yeah.
to Derry, and it paints such a vivid picture
Yeah.
that it haunted me. That book,
Okay.
Dubliners, haunted me because and as I say, it's a collection of short stories, but it's like you get a window into these people's lives for a day
Mhm.
on some day in the life sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, it's a wonderful book of short
Okay.
stories, man. Honestly, like I would recommend it highly. I haven't read it since, and it's one of those books I need to pick up again, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that. The sort of those it really describes those little moments of life when you have that little moment, that feeling in your stomach where it's like, do I go right or do I go left?
Yeah, and you know instinctively this is a huge
Yeah.
moment. This is a big decision that's going to
Yeah.
echo forever.
Big time. That's
Yeah,
cool.
fuck.
I hope we've
Wow, that's an introspective
recommend.
question.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, that's good.
Jesus Christ, Tom.
Those are the best
podcast
books.
is-
The best books are the ones that teach you something without knowing they're teaching you something.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You learn through living someone else's fictional life sometimes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Sean. Thank you,
Oh.
Sean. All right, next.
Listeners' contributions.
Listeners' contributions. Jesus, Tom, we've been at this a while now, haven't we?
Yeah, it's going to be a long one. It
gonna
might
be
be
a
a
long one.
two-parter.
Right. Okay. So, listeners' contributions. We were, unfortunately, I was a bit late putting out the word this week.
Yes, you were. Once again, you did it 5 minutes before.
Yes, but in my defense, I've been a busy man. Anyway, so we have here, Jeff.
Oh, the Bulger.
Jeff, loyal follower, loyal listener, an absolute gem of a man.
The patriarch
who
of the fans.
bigged us up the other week. Remember?
Yeah.
When people were slagging us, Jeff intervened on the video chat.
Excellent. Yeah.
Huh?
Came to our defense when we needed it
Rock
the most.
on.
We were on the ropes.
Absolutely. Okay, worst hangover situations, please. Mothers-in-law, stranded on a beach.
We've had this one already.
Woke up in Andorra on the way home from Sitges, etc.
We've had this one already, haven't we?
I know, yeah. I think we've answered this question, Jeff. Similar question. But no, he literally just said this today.
Oh, wait, because I had to cut it out because of the file corruption.
Ah, fuck, that's what happened. That's
Yeah.
why he's asking it again.
Yeah, fuck's sake. Oh, I hope
Um,
this file doesn't get corrupted.
Worst hangover, Tom. I mean, there's several candidates, like, but anyway, go for it. Buddy.
Pause thought. I'm going to pause and restart a video just because I'm thinking about file corruption.
Go
now.
and have a look at how long we've done as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, we're on. We're recording. I'll cut that out, but don't worry. That's not making the cut. It's got to go. Yep. There's always one bit every episode.
Fuck
fucking
me.
hell.
All right, and we're back.
I'm back. Yeah, part 3. This is a 3-parter
Part
now.
3. Jesus, Tom.
I told you, drinking 6 cans is the way forward when we're recording.
Should be 6 cans each next time.
6 cans each next time.
we go for about 5 hours.
Yeah. Worst hangovers, Jeff wanted to know.
Yes, worst hangovers it was. You go first. One. I mean,
Like,
one each.
I've had hangovers where I can't stop vomiting.
Mm.
Like you just get stuck in, and you like it's almost like your body gets in a habit of it, and then you just think, when will this ever stop? And like the yellow bile comes up,
It's awful.
dry retching.
Yeah.
I had a hangover like that before when I had to move house.
Okay.
And it was the last day where I was moving out, but I had to paint the walls before I left. It was like contractually obliged. I had to pay a huge amount of money.
Yes.
Paint fumes, migraine, vomiting, standing on top of the ladders looking up like that.
Gross, man.
Yeah, awful.
I tell you, my one well, it's probably not. It's among the worst. It's hard to pick the worst, but this one was awful.
Mm-hmm.
So, about a year and a half ago, I suppose now at this stage, maybe 2 years ago. You remember when the boys come over?
Yeah.
Like boys from Letterkenny.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like Richard and Dara and
Yeah.
Anthony and Ryan and all these boys and Sean and all. And Gillespie was here. And I went on the drink with them early doors.
Mhm.
And proceeded to like just we just did what we were doing. Remember, you were there.
Yeah, I was with him for a bit.
We were in that fucking bar where we always end up nearly getting into fights. What's it called?
Oh, El8.
El8, yeah.
Yeah, I fucking hate
Every
that
time we're
place.
in El8,
I don't like going there anymore.
things kick off.
Yeah.
It's fucking mad. Anyway, it's like a Wild West bar.
It's the bar for expats who don't have social skills.
Exactly. Anyway,
Wait.
out with them. Woke up the next morning in their Airbnb
Mm-hmm.
when I was supposed to go home, right?
Yeah.
That was when me and you were living together, so it wasn't so bad. Like it wasn't like like she wasn't waiting on me or anything like that. But I got home, and that day I was to pick up my mother and my two nieces from the airport. And needless to say, it was a horrendous hangover, like vomiting all day. And I ordered a burrito, thinking the burrito will surely bring me around.
You vomited it up?
The complete opposite, vomited up. And I wasn't picking them up, bear in mind, until like 7 in the evening. And I was still vomiting. And I had to get in a taxi. Andrea was with me. She came to meet me. I was like, we'll go and pick them up at the airport. And I was just like hanging on in the taxi, sweating, pale, picking them up, hugs and all, great to see you, and all, putting on a brave face, like, and
just
like being in the taxi,
alcohol,
just being like, please God, like, make me not be sick here. Managed to get through it, thankfully. So that's one of the worst I've had recently because the pressure was there. Family, you're having to do things, you know what I mean? You're having to put your, you know what I mean? I don't know if my mum knows about this. Yeah, you might know about it now. Like, when I came to pick them up,
yourself.
I was in bad shape. You know?
I mean, I'd say the smell. Like, I've smelt you when you're hungover before. They knew. They knew. Everyone in a 30-meter radius knew.
Well, I was thinking, I'm out with the boys. I'm having the crack here. It's going to be all right. So it's all the boys friends of mine from Letterkenny. I'll be grand because I don't have to pick them up until late anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just bit off more than I could chew.
Well, it's hard to tell when you're drunk, when you're that drunk. Like, you have no gauge.
This is it, man. This is it.
We'll talk about that next time because we can't keep going because we're already almost over an hour.
We've gone too much, haven't we?
Have we not got another listener contribution?
We've got one more, but it's. I mean,
hit me with it.
Are you prepared for this? All right.
Oh, is it big one?
It's a war one.
Excellent. Fits the theme.
So Joe Rag,
mm-hmm.
Big Joe Rag, big Mancunian Joe Rag,
yeah.
Big lanky handsome bastard. He is.
Yeah.
Man United fan, gentleman, lovely fella.
Scholar.
I have to introduce her. I can't introduce.
Yeah.
He's a great lad. What did you say?
He's a scholar.
He's a Scot?
Scholar.
A scholar? Oh, he's definitely a scholar. Very, very, very clever man.
Yeah. Works with lasers.
So, he sends this to the Breakfast Beers boys.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to get your take on the effect of the Ukraine war on the mid to long. Sorry, I'm getting the giggles.
Go on.
On the mid to long term future between China and Taiwan. And how you think the US and the rest of the Western world should proceed. He's gone geopolitics on us, man.
Do you want to take this one or shall I?
We're like we're a few beers deep here. Like,
I mean, it's a difficult one, isn't it?
You said you had fucking things to say about this. So
there's things to say about this.
All right, go ahead.
Because we have to remember that everything we know about this war and this geopolitical situation comes not just through the lens of Western media, but also the lens of Western expectations.
I agree. You're right.
So Ukraine is an invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Now, Ukraine was once part of the USSR, no?
It was.
It was. Okay, so you can make an argument from a Russian point of view they're taking back what's theirs from the European Union because the European Union want Ukraine in. And it's not just Ukraine they've lost. They lost other regions as well. The USSR shrunk. Yeah. And this is East-West politics. Going back a while, if you ask young people from Ukraine, they'll say they're getting invaded by Russia. If you ask old people from Ukraine who left Ukraine a long time ago what's going on, they'll tell you the borders around there are fluid. Okay. They move a lot. Now, what's happening from our point of view is that a smaller country is being invaded by a big, bad country.
Yes.
What's happening from a Russian point of view is what's been happening for hundreds of years. Yeah. The borders are changing. Yes. And what has the West done? Okay, we'll be there in a minute. What's the West done?
What
Saber rattling. I mean, are we going to escalate to a nuclear conflict every time there's a border dispute? That's the question we have to ask ourselves.
I agree with you, Tom.
Because let's look at this problem. Let's step back and not look at it from West or East, Russian, European Union,
global.
NATO.
Yeah.
What's happened here? A guy has ordered his country to invade. It's one man is the problem. Vladimir Putin is the problem. The simple solution would have been to kill Vladimir Putin to end this war.
But how are you going to kill Vlad?
Why didn't they do it? Well, I don't know. If you have to fucking bomb the Kremlin with a stealth bomber, that's a lot easier than having a proxy war in Ukraine. Now, here's another thing.
There's money to be made. Money.
Yes. Here's another thing. If I say to you, presidents, charismatic presidents, dangerous presidents, presidents who are reality TV stars and are very good at winning the crowd, but probably not very good at running it, but are good puppets.
Oh, I know.
Who am I talking about?
Uncle Danny.
Zelensky.
Oh, left field.
Yeah. Zelensky was he wasn't a reality TV star. He was a comedian before he became a president. Zelensky's very smart. And since the Ukraine war started, all of Zelensky's opposition have disappeared. Zelensky's
consolidated his position.
Yes. Zelensky is now going to be in power for a while with the backing of the West. Zelensky said no to quite a few peace deals with the Russians because it's now benefiting him. Oh, my house is falling down.
He was also told to say no, I think.
Yes, because
he's told what the fuck
he's making the West money.
I think he is. Yeah.
For what? There are easier ways to peace in this war. There are quicker ways to peace. We're not taking them, and you have to ask yourself why. Now, Joe's question is, what is this going to do for geopolitics in terms of China and Taiwan? What it's doing is it's wrapping NATO up and it's testing them, seeing where they actually are, and it's not looking good. What's happened this week? The big news about what's happened this week is TikTok is being made illegal in the USA because it's dangerous and it doesn't protect our data. Was Cambridge Analytica part of TikTok? No. Was the misinformation spread on Facebook to do with TikTok? No. So is your data safe on social media anyway? No. Why are they highlighting TikTok? Because TikTok is not controlled by the West.
Yeah, it's Chinese.
Millions and millions of dollars of investment in Facebook and Meta is wrapped up in the Senate of the USA. That's their preferred method of social media. They want to make TikTok illegal because they have no control over it. They can't tell TikTok to tell us what to think. There's a big problem there. And if you look at the difference, you'll see on Facebook and Meta and Twitter all these things about how good Zelensky is and he's holding on and he's always wearing his little soldier's uniform. It's not going. But if you look at the news, what's actually happening this week, the petrodollar for Saudi Arabia isn't the petrodollar anymore. It's the petro yuan.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
Where's that? Where's that on Facebook?
China.
Where's that on Twitter? You don't hear about it. What's happening is the world is starting to realize that the Western superpower isn't a superpower anymore. It's all hot air. And people have been poking it for ages. They've been poking it since 9/11 in 2001 when they realized actually a lot of this is a charade. And they're starting to pull it out. They're starting to pull it away. How does the Ukrainian war affect the situation in China and Taiwan? You tie them up. It's a little litmus test. What are they going to do about this? It's right on the border of the EU. And also, they got a legitimate reason for doing it.
Yeah.
When the Berlin Wall fell, there was an agreement between the East and the West.
Not 1 inch.
Yeah, not 1 inch. NATO will not dare put any air bases in any of these countries. We'll have a sort of unofficial border zone. Since then, there's about 200 air bases there.
That's a good point.
They've got a great reason for actually doing it. It just, for us, it doesn't sound right.
No.
But all they're doing now is they're testing.
It isn't right, but at the same time, I mean, what is right? Who's saying who's right?
Well, yeah.
Here? The fucking Americans.
So we've been
invaded Iraq on a pack of lies.
Exactly.
Where's the moral authority to be fucking preaching to Russia?
We've been preaching moral authority for ages and not doing it. So they're turning around and go, well, what will happen if we behave like you? And Ukraine has shown, we say, all these things we'll defend you, and we get all these videos of the Ukrainians using the weapons we send them.
Yeah.
The point is the Russians will keep coming until Ukraine is crushed.
And here's the point too, on a human side of this. It's the Ukrainian people who are suffering.
Yeah.
It's the Ukrainian people who are fleeing, being fucking bombed and all the rest. Do you know what I mean? And I suppose it's young Russian soldiers who are being just pushed to the front line.
Yeah, the people
you know?
the people of the Agar and watch this fucking Petri dish experiment is taking place.
Yeah.
But what will happen is it's proving, if you consider China and Russia a joint superpower, which Saudi Arabia will soon be involved with as well to provide the oil,
Yeah.
that actually you can get away with it because the West won't do anything. They think sanctions is enough.
It's fucked up, man, that nobody's talking about peace. Like, nobody.
Yeah.
You are not hearing anything about peace.
The worrying thing as well
You
is, like, the way to peace usually for the West has been sanctions. Like, you say to a country, like, oh, you're not...
Turn the screw.
Yeah, we turn the screw. And the way they do that is through oil.
Yeah.
But how can you
Can't
do
do
it? Because you don't control it anymore.
Yeah,
If they're taking away the petrodollar, that's a real crippling move.
Are we now a geopolitical informative
podcast? Yeah,
podcast that knows
we drink
knows
6
the score?
or 7 beers, and then we talk about things we barely understand, and then we put it out on the internet.
I tell you what, though, Tom, I think you were very articulate, and I think you hit upon I think you hit several nails in the head.
I think you have to take a step back and stop seeing things as the good and the bad side, and realize probably we've done a lot of things to deserve this. And
on that note,
it's not going too well for us.
On that note, thank you for watching and listening to another edition of Breakfast Beers.
Yeah.
Lunch is ready for us.
We're going to eat some spaghetti and go and drink.
Enjoy your lives. Try not to worry too much about fucking nuclear annihilation or any of that other nonsense. We'll just keep plugging away. The sun's out. And when the sun's out, get your guns out. Not your literal guns, but your actual guns. Your guns in your arms. Have a few drinks. Sit in the beer garden. Enjoy the crack with your mates and your family. Be nice. Be cool. Be tranquil. And definitely, be unique.
Cool. Okay. That'll do.
Bye.
Bye-bye.